Hi there guys, here we are with another tutorial. This time on Photoshop we're gonna be creating a metal background like this one and a wooden background. I'm gonna start this one over to show you guys how we do it. I'll keep it untitled. I can name it metal. Alright, width 300, height 200. I just want to make a small image here so you can just get the basics of it, see how it works and everything. We're going to zoom in, make it a little bigger on the screen just to see what we're working with exactly. First thing we're going to do is we're going to paint this background, alright? You can press G for the paint bucket or go over here to paint bucket tool. Select a color that looks like a metal a little bit. I like to go with the blue, very little blue though, more like a grayscale. Choose somewhere around here that we're going to, that looks like a metal, right? So hit OK. Let's paint that. Check the color if this is the color that you like. You can make it a little brighter, a little darker, anything goes really. It's more like you can try different things until you reach exactly what you want to work with. So let's go over here to filter and add some noise to it. It's gonna look ugly, it's gonna look like it's nothing like metal at all, but you're going to see my point in a little bit. I like to go with a little less than that, maybe like 30% amount. Not much. 30% looks good. Okay, on uniform, right? Because if you go with Gaussian, you're gonna be like a little bit out of what we want to work with here. And remember, go with monochromatic. I hit OK. It just looks like a static image. That's normal. We're going to make it look a lot better now when we apply the blur, motion blur. Here we go. I like to make long distance so it looks until it looks a little bit like a brush metal really. Angle 0. We don't want to change that unless you want to. Let me just show you what happens. If you go with like angle 15, it just looks like it's a different angle. I like to go with 0, so it depends on what you're working with. Again, this could be applied for many different effects, but I just want to show you like the basics here and how you get to the point. Like everything else can be changed and you can try different things. Let's hit OK, and as you can see now, like the edges here are a little different than the center, and you don't want that to happen. So what you can do is you go over here to crop, or you can press C, and we're going to crop this image like that, just like that, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. We just want to keep this side thing that is different from the rest of the image out of the image, right? So the result is right here. This is what you get. If you want to go back to the original size of the image, you go to image size, and you just type 300 by 200, right? Another thing I wanted to show you, don't forget to not constrain proportions, because if you do that, when you type the 300, you're gonna go, the height is gonna change to 228, whatever. That's because the proportions are being kept. So we don't want to do that. We want to go back to the size that we created. It's not gonna change much the image. You can't barely see any difference really on the image when you change the size of it. right? It just got a little bit wider, but it still looks like a metal. For me, it was just to show you anyways. Now I want to show you how to make the wood background. So we're gonna do just the same thing as we did with the metal, but with a different color. We're same image size. Let's name it wood. Hit OK. Let's zoom in to visualize it a little better. Go over to paint bucket or just type G. This time we're going to be picking a different color. I like to pick somewhere between the yellow and red, like that. A little more brown, a little darker brown, so I can work with a darker wood. Almost like a chocolate, but a little brighter than chocolate. And that color looks like the wood that we want to work with. Once again, you can choose like a brighter color or a darker color, or it depends on your project what you want to work with. Okay, so just like we did with the metal, we're going to apply some noise. I like to go with the Gaussian to create like there's like a little more difference in the colors between the uniform and Gaussian here. I like to go with the Gaussian for the wood. 30% is great. It's looking good. We're going to go over a filter just like we did with the metal again. We're going to apply some motion blur and check it out. It looks a lot more like wood. In this particular case, like doing the wood background, I like to keep a little bit of the noise, so I won't. So I'll decrease a little bit of the distance related to the metal. I like to keep it maybe even less, maybe like 25 pixels. Yeah, that's a little more. 27. Yeah, that looks something like what we want. Hit OK. Keep the angle 0, of course. Same thing again. Oops. Same thing again. We're going to crop this image to keep those edges out of it. So we can go all the way to the top and bottom again and just keep the sides away. Double click it. We got what we want. I already showed you this, but just to make sure you get it again, I'm gonna go back to 300 by 200. Do not constrain proportions, remember that. Resample image, hit OK, and we're back to its original size. There's another thing that I wanted to show you, how to do how to make this wood look more like a paper wood. So I'll show you over here. Like, we click on filter and filter gallery, and we're gonna apply some water paper effect. We can increase and decrease fiber length with just how you like it. You can increase or decrease it and make it darker, brighter. Contrast, same thing. I like to keep the contrast a little before the brightness, apply a little more brightness than contrast. Hit OK, and there we go. We got it. Looks like a fiber wood paper. One last thing, you can use the burn tool. Make the edges burn just like that. Just click the mouse once, and if you want to do it over, you can do it over, but just keep in mind that if you release the mouse button, what you're going to be seeing is you're going to be like double burning the image. I'll show you what. So I release the button, and if I do it again, check this out. You're going to be double burning the image. You can do that to cause like different effects and everything. Of course, this is going to depend on what exactly you're working with, what kind of impression effect that you want to make, but this looks like some burned paper, right? Some burned old piece of paper, the one that used to be made in the old times. And I like to use it for icons, such as like buttons or little images. This is a small image. It's a very nice image to work with for an icon like project. And that's about it. You can see more tutorials at www.marlonins.com. I'm gonna put that in info of this video, and thanks for watching.